Hi, this is Susan Bennett, the original voice of Siri. Here's what's coming up today on another great episode of On the Nose with Randall Kenneth Jones.
Fortune favors the brave. You have to have courage to follow your heart, and fortune will follow you. It's always a risk. It was a massive risk, me leaving banking, not knowing how I was going to, survive as an artist. But I took a leap of faith, and this is what's turned out. I've created some things that I'm so proud of.
If you believe that everyone you meet knows something you don't know, then you're ready for the next bold evolution of the Jones Show podcast. On the Nose with Randall Kenneth Jones introduces you to people who are in the know and ready to share their special brand of know-how with you. From artists, authors, and activists to entertainers, educators, and entrepreneurs, On the Nose will elevate your ability to influence the world we share. Here's the host of On the Nose, Randall Kenneth Jones.
Tina.
Hello.
Tina Chiang. I'm over the moon today. I have to laugh before I even talk about who you are and why I love you so much. I have to laugh. I got this email from you, and you said in the email you couldn't wait to chew the fat with me. And I thought, chew the fat? And I'm looking at my husband, Derek, and I was like, she's born in Denmark. She's raised in Singapore. She's an actress in the UK. Chew the fat is the most hillbilly thing. I was like, where on earth did that come from? So I look it up. Tina, I looked it up. It's British.
And now you know.
And we steal everything from the Brits and we make it ours. So we're ready to chew the fat. How are you, my dear? Welcome.
I'm good, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be on this. I've listened to the other episodes and you've got such incredible guests, Randy. I'm like, I want to read all their books. I'm just like, it's great.
I'm lucky because I get... Okay, I'm obsessed now with BritBox. Let me explain to you. I get to talk to people I'm obsessed with. You probably notice and you obviously know I have an obsession with you. My new obsession is BritBox. And let me tell you why. I'm 63. I began to watch BritBox. BritBox is, by the way, going to love me when this is done. This is like a commercial for them. I'm watching programming that wasn't intended for me. It wasn't shot for me. I don't understand everything I'm hearing. I have to look things up. I have to have the captions on because I don't always know all the language being used. Now, as a gay man, I am required to watch AbFab, the entire series, at least once per year. I lose my accreditation. So I'm an AbFab fan. So it's not like I've never done this before. But I turn on BritBox and I'm transfixed because I go to a place I've never been. My last name is Jones. If I look at my DNA, I'm all over Great Britain. All over, and actually more Ireland than Wales, which surprised me. But, my DNA is all tracks back to Great Britain, and everything in the United States is 250 years old max. And you all are shooting in these churches and these castles and these estates and these homes, and I'm absolutely transported. The first show that I chose to watch, and I'm not a murder mystery person. That's not my thing, was Sister Boniface Mysteries. And season 1, episode 2, highly featured a character named Sister Pita, one of the nuns at the convent. And I fell in love. And you are Sister Pita. You're Sister Peter. Sister Boniface Mysteries. I just was mesmerized. And so I write you to explain to people, and this is one of the things I teach. So I write her a note on Instagram because I'm a big advocate for letting people know the positive. If you have a teacher that meant something to you, find them, let them know. If somebody's work you admire, find them, let them know. And I thought, and I really don't do this that often. I have done it a couple times, and there's another guest coming on who I did the same thing to. But I just was like, I love her so much. I'm so charmed by what you do. I wrote you a note, and now we write back and forth. This is the first time. I didn't even know what you were going to sound like. I had no idea what kind of accent you would sound like. So, Tina, welcome. So, okay, tons of questions. So, Denmark to Singapore to the UK, how does that happen?
Well, my dad migrated. My dad used to work on the ships as a sort of cabin boy. And then he got along really well with his captain, who sponsored his visa over to Scandinavia. So my brother was born in Norway, and my sister and I were born in Denmark. But my parents are originally from sort of Malaysia, so it was the Singapore region. So I went back to Singapore until when I was sort of 7. And then I went to school there. I went to a convent school, funnily enough.
How appropriate.
I know. I never ever thought my convent school education would ever come in handy. And lo and behold, decades later, this audition comes up for Sister Boniface. And I was like, I know, I think I know this woman, I think I know her backstory because Sister Peter wasn't meant to be East Asian. I think they were just looking for someone sort of quirky and interesting. Um, but there were a lot of missionaries in Southeast Asia. So they did set up schools, they were there to spread the word of the Lord and, spread the English language and English literature. So we had Irish nuns that were teaching us. Um, and so, yeah, I've never been a nun. I've never actually been in a convent, but I think I get a glimpse of what that life might be like. And when this audition came up for the show, I was so excited because it's set in the 60s. This is for all your guests that don't know the show at all.
Can I please point out, no, it is set in the 60s. I'm born in 1962, so I'm loving every moment of this because to also play Sister Boniface is I call it CSI Great Slaughter. That's what I call the show, CSI Great Slaughter in 1962, because that's what she is. She's a crime scene investigator, a nun who's basically a crime scene investigator using the technology available in the 60s. The clothes, Tina, the lack of technology, the simplicity, it's incredible. Again, it's just a time period that I just enjoy so much.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We shoot it in the Cotswolds, and obviously we have to erase, some wires and stuff. But we don't really have to do much in terms of backdrop. We don't have to create a massive set because it's all there in the countryside.
Insane, insane, gorgeous.
And our makeup and costume designers are amazing. Veronica is the head of makeup, and the looks that she creates and the amount of research that she does, in recreating all these looks and the costumes as well. Like our costumes for the first series were hired from Angels, which is a very famous costume shop. And so they were really heavy and really, rustic and really, they just gave us such weight and heft and presence in a way. After that, they were like, well, it's a bit too expensive to keep hiring them. So they had to do makes of them, which were great because they gave us pockets so we could, put our stuff in pockets for the makes. But for me, I mean, like the 60s is an era I would love to go back to, in terms of the music, the politics, the fashion, women's liberation. It was such an exciting time. I mean, honestly, yeah, if I had a time machine, I would love to go back to the 60s. So for me, I was like, I love this era. And in terms of TV, it was so exciting. So, as you know from the show, there are lots of episodes that are about the making of TV. And I did my research into it because my first episode was me being this massive fan of this TV show, which is very loosely based on the Avengers that comes to shoot in our convent. And I thought it was such an exciting time, the early 60s, in terms of TV, because now we have all these streamers and stuff. But back in the day, there were only sort of 2, 3 channels maybe. And
Mm-hmm.
like 1 in 4 British households had a TV. And so everyone would come together to watch their favorite programs, So things like Blue Peter, which is the kids, show, DIY show, you know, Sister Peter would have been mesmerized by this world coming into her convent.
Let me interject, and she is. See, now you tell me if I'm wrong, but Sister Peter, she loves television. She loves entertainment. She is obsessed. You have got such a wonderful arc, a backstory about her. Every time there's anything television, there's several different opportunities where we're televised. There's a television show where we're filming or something going on, and Sister Peter is right there in the middle of it every single time. And it's so clear that she so missed her calling. Now, speaking of missing your calling, that was an accidental segue. It looked like it was really good. You didn't start as an actress. I mean, you did, but you didn't. You veered off. Let's say you veered off course and went into banking.
I did. I kind of fell into it. I started temping. I don't know if you have it in the States, but it's just a temporary kind of, assignment kind of thing. And then, I was it was it was a very different world, but I remember having my interview and I was very honest, and I think that's what my boss kind of appreciated. She was like, "Do you know anything about banking compliance?" And I said, "No, to be honest with you, but I'm willing to learn and I've heard the term before." And I think she appreciated my honesty, that I would just hold my hand up and say, "I don't know this, but teach me and I'm sure I'll pick it up." Um, so I got really good experience eventually in compliance, and it was all about attention to detail, stuff that was, quite easy in a way. And all my friends who I went to university with were all like, "Oh my God, that's a brilliant part of banking to be part of." And I kind of got persuaded a little bit. But I'll also tell you, it wasn't just that the money was attractive, it was also because when I finished my studies, there weren't many roles for East Asian actors at all. My first audition was for a sweatshop worker, which is like, an illegal immigrant. And I was thinking, this is not the kind of this isn't me. And do I want to be perpetuating this narrative? It just seems so two-dimensional. And it was quite heartbreaking because I thought, I'm more than that. We're all more than that. But I think I think it's changed a lot, and in a kind of full circle moment as well. Later on, when I went back into acting, one of the biggest parts, or one of the most kind of crucial roles, or the most impactful parts I think I ever did, was playing a DVD seller, which again is an illegal immigrant. But that story and that episode, it was a show on Channel 4 called Run. That show really humanized the plight of these illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And um and for me being in that show, it led to so many other things as well, where people were like, "We saw you in that show. We always remembered you." Um, and they called me in for auditions based on that. And so that's something that I'm quite sort of proud of as well. And I kind of thought, yeah, my thinking about representation has changed a lot, I think, now.
But Sister Peter just happens to be Asian, which is what I love. And I love the fact that they had the mindset, they had the foresight to go, we're going to go for talent. We're going to go for this actress. And it doesn't, regardless of her cultural background, they go for that. I'm going to do another gush moment. You all, if you are not watching this show, just to watch Tina's face, her facial expressions, just I scream. And you're in at the wimple. Is that the in and you're, of course, because you're a nun, it emphasizes your face
Yeah, it
and
frames it.
frames it at the eyes. I mean, if Sister Peter's thinking it is coming out of your face. And I love your entire cast. I do. We will talk about them all. I love them, love them, love them, love them. But when you were on that screen, I can only look at your face. I can only
Oh,
look at your face.
Randy.
I also let me compliment. Let me tell you why I love the cast, which I think is so important. My favorite movie is Under the Tuscan Sun. And people say, why? And I'm like, because every single character could be the star of that film.
Oh,
They're all so engaged and wonderful. The little man who leaves the flowers, the real estate agent, they're all of them. It's so brilliantly cast, and they're so full-bodied. The characters are all so full-bodied. That is Sister Boniface to me. Whether you are one of the primary, the four, depending upon the season, 5 primary characters, or the recurring characters such as yourself, everyone is just so fun, so believable, so fleshed out. And I think that can only come from a real sense of community and safety on set. Have I got that right? You all have to love each other. I mean, I'm getting that big time. And that you have a great time together.
yeah. It's so funny because I could go on and tell you but a whole load of stuff, but Lorna, who plays Sister Boniface, is the sweetest woman ever. Like, she is just adorable. And she's the number one on the call sheet. So she sets the tone of the whole thing.
Can I show you something? I even have little Sister Boniface glasses. Now, if you're listening, you're not going to know this, but if you're watching on YouTube, I even have little, don't I? I have little Sister
Yeah,
Boniface glasses.
yeah,
Yeah, I do.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, please continue
Well,
because I love Lorna. Lorna is
yeah.
adorable.
I know. And then Jerry who plays Felix Livingston, he's the kind of the audiences into this world of Sister Boniface. He's kind of the outsider looking in, going befuddled and confused about this strange town. So he's the kind of audience way in, and he's got an interesting backstory as well about how he ended up in Great Slaughter. But he's so lovely, and Max as well, who plays Sam, is just they're just two of the sweetest guys possible. And every guest star that we've had on the show have all gone, this is so lovely. This is such a nice cast. And it's like, it's those 3 guys who are the heads who set the tone of it all. We welcome everyone and we want to make sure they're having a good time.
And Peggy. And let's not how charming Peggy is.
Yeah.
I don't think that can be faked, and that is what I get. Of course, because ultimately, this is a show about murder. I mean, and we could do an entire show about why we're obsessed with, like in the States, we seem to be obsessed with real crime, where obviously, based on what is on BritBox, Agatha Christie must be like the most popular figure ever in England and Great Britain because of the preponderance of murder mysteries that are on BritBox. It's absolutely amazing. I do that. I went on a tangent, but I don't want to miss this because I love the fact that you train for theater. You go into banking compliance. I looked up what banking compliance was. I do want to go back to that. Compliance in banking is the framework of policies, procedures, and internal controls. Is that how you approach acting? Is that the common element about taking control, understanding, having a framework? I think that's Tina. That's a guess. I could be wrong. I think that's Tina.
Yeah. I think that applies in a lot of stuff, but I think also what working in banking taught me is I had to be in meetings with people who were very, very, very senior, who had a lot more experience than I did. And I always went into these meetings with an attitude, a very similar attitude to you, of going, I don't know this, please teach me. And they knew that they appreciated my honesty, and so they were happy to kind of um, guide me, even from my bosses to other people. And I think that kind of attitude really lends itself to working on a film set or in a creative atmosphere because, you know, Belinda Lang, who plays Mrs. Clam, she's an icon of British telly. And I watch her and I learn from her.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and she's beautiful. I did not.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. The actress who plays Mrs. Clam, my husband and I were watching it, and let's just say Mrs. Clam is not necessarily beautiful. She reminds me so much of my Grandma Jones. Grandma Jones, I love you. Reminds me so much of Grandma Jones, and she's absolutely beautiful.
Her work is extraordinary, and she transforms when she leaves the makeup chair, when she's got her curls and stuff. It's just an absolute transformation. Um, but I mean, going back to the casting of the show, it was cast by a lovely casting director called John Cannon. Um, I mean, I don't need to butter him up because he's already given me a job, but I met him 10 years before he called me in for that audition. Like, we were always bumping into each other at the theater. Like, John Cannon is one of these casting directors that goes and watches so many plays. So his knowledge of who's out there in the industry is second to none. So, I don't know how other casting directors work, but for him, he knows he's got it all in his head, and he knows, the 10 people that he would call in for this part. So he'll ask those 10 actors to tape for it. And everyone that he's brought in, we've been like, oh my God, this actor is perfect for this part. Like,
Again, I will comment on that because here I am. I'm in the States. I'm in Missouri, which is in the middle of the States. And I'm watching British television, and I'm thinking, this is a quote-unquote small country compared to us. I mean, it's a small country, but wow, the depth of talent in Great Britain is off the charts. The depth of talent and the wonderful commitment that all of your guest actors bring to these roles, and the time period, and what and the values of the time period, being that good or bad. I watched the one with the boots again last night, so the values of the time period. You did make a couple comments I have to quote you on some exchanges we had about the decision to leave banking and to pursue your love. I'm always glad that I followed my heart. I didn't want to be on my deathbed regretting a life spent in banking. But you also said something that I is my big takeaway so far from our time together, other than the fact that he's the cutest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, with the best facial expressions of anybody I've ever seen in my entire life, who just makes me just, oh, okay. You said things take time, and what's for you won't pass you by. Tina, I love that. And I think if you live for that, what's for you, you may not know that when you're young. I was a theater kid. Oh, I majored in theater. This is what's for me. And I'm a writer now. I was never a writer. And you want to write more. So we have to do a whole other Randy Tina time all about writing, because I will do anything I can to support and help and promote anything you want to write. I was never a writer. And so you do, if you are patient and if you allow things to come in time, what you're meant to do. I believe you, Tina. I don't think it will pass you by, but I think you need to pay attention
yeah.
to what your life is telling you to do. You got to pay attention and take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah, because, we talk about representation, and I have a lot of these chats with my friends, and we have to say, well, we have to write the things that we want to see, because going back to what you were saying in one of your other episodes, who's telling your story? Only you can tell your story with as much authenticity and honesty that's possible. I mean, you can kind of complain, oh, why people always just writing illegal immigrant stories? That's such a stereotype. Well, it's like, well, then you have to throw your hat into the ring and write the stuff, that you want to see.
I'm going to throw my hat in a ring. Producers of Sister Boniface, I am an actor. I need to die. You need to hire me. I need to come over. I need to be the nasty American that you kill. You need to kill me. And I need the storyline to be part of GSADS, Great Slaughter Amateur Dramatic Society. I need to be a GSADS plotline, and I must die, and my life will be complete. And I must have tons of time with Sister Peter. So I'm throwing that into the universe that's what I want to have happen. Oh, I would be good. I would kill it. Well, I would not kill it. I would be killed.
You can. Well, that's so funny because I think BritBox ran a competition for viewers in the States. So we actually had someone that was flown in from the States and got to visit the set of Sister Boniface. So, yeah, might happen. It might happen.
Oh, I tell you, BritBox gotta love me. Father Brown, I watched it all.
Oh, Father Brown is an exceptional
Father Brown
series,
watched
isn't
it all because I started actually with Sister Boniface, and Sister Boniface was sort of a spinoff. I mean, the character began on Father Brown. I've watched every single season. Real quick, and again, a shout out to that cast, the tightness of that cast. And every time they have a casting change, I freak out. I hate it, but I have to hand it to Father Brown because as much as I miss the previous character who's gone, I love the new ones they bring in, and that's hard to pull that off. That's really difficult to pull that off. So,
yeah, I mean, Father Brown was basically a fictional character by G.K. Chesterton, and they did a remake of it. I think they did the first TV series was done in the 70s, and then they, relaunched it in the early 2000s. With a sort of contemporary spin as well, I think, to some of the themes and stuff to make it kind of relevant, I think, um, and also to reach a wider audience, I think, so it's got to expand in some forms. But yeah, I'm glad you're liking Father Brown.
oh, I love Father Brown. Now, I have a little game I want us to play
Okay.
called Sister Boniface Off.
Okay.
So you and I, so these are questions, and we both get to answer the questions. So are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, this is about the. These are the cast members. Again, whether you've watched it or not, this is going to make you want to watch the show. Who would you, Tina, tell your secrets to, Peggy or Tom?
Oh gosh, I would say Peggy.
I would tell him to Tom. I would tell him to Tom because nobody would understand him. Nobody
I
would understand
know.
if he repeated it, and they wouldn't necessarily believe him. Nobody would understand him. I don't know. I think you get a couple drinks in Peggy, and I'm not 100% sure.
No,
I'm not sure she can be trusted.
Peggy is a good egg, whereas Tom.
She's a very good
I think
egg.
Tom would kind of spin it a little bit, and make it
He
kind
would
of.
spin it, and you couldn't understand him. Well, of course, everybody in town can understand him because there is that person in every town. Okay, question number 2 in the Sister Boniface Off. Who would you trust to keep your secrets, Ruth or Norman?
Oh,
They're both journalists. They're both journalists on the show. Ruth or Norman, who would keep the secret? Oh, I have one.
I would say Norman.
Oh, yeah. Ruth, but no. We love Ruth, and I was so mad she left the show full time, but oh no, Norman, we could work. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ruth ain't gonna keep the secret if she needs to print it. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. So
Yeah,
question
yeah,
number
yeah.
3. Who is better suited to being in a relationship? Sam or Dottie? Who is better suited to being in a relationship? Sam or Dottie?
I think Dottie.
I think Dottie too.
Sam is a bit of a ladies' man. Dottie is probably a bit. Dottie is so loyal. She's so loyal to her friends.
Sam basically lives in a home with his mommy. I mean, in a sense, he kind of lives at home with his mommy. So and And he let you. Oh, I don't want to give a spoiler. Yeah, I don't want to give a spoiler. He had. Yeah, I think he should have held on to something that he had.
I know. But I love the episode where Dottie and Mrs. Clam have the makeover. That's my favorite. I mean, I'm not in that episode, but I watch all the other episodes that I'm not in as well because I want to enjoy everyone else's work.
Well, I will say, BritBox, she should never be omitted from an episode.
Oh,
Sister Peter should be in every episode. I'm going to put that out there. She should be in every episode. Question 4.
yeah.
Who would you be more afraid of pissing off, Reverend Mother or Mrs. Clam?
Oh my gosh. I would say Reverend Mother.
Mrs.
She's
Clam.
terrifying.
Yeah, Reverend Mother at least has God to sort of help her learn forgiveness.
true.
Mrs.
That's
Clam will
true.
take you out.
That's true. Although, in the Scottish Kaylee episode, Mrs. Clam also has a heart, and it's very sweet.
Well, she does have a heart, but if you make her mad,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Reverend Mother, I'm just counting that God would keep her from actually smiting me. Mrs. Clam would take me out with a purse. She would not she would have no patience with me.
No.
Mrs.
No.
Clam would have no patience with me. Okay, question number 5. Who do you think would be a better reality TV star, Chief Constable Losley or Sister Peter? Who would be better on reality TV, Chief Constable Losley or Sister Peter?
Oh, wow. That's such a good question. I mean, I think Inspector Losley would shine, but I think Sister Peter would eventually win it. She would win the series.
I think it needs to be Sister Peter because Losley, love him, love that character. He's so presentational. This is reality TV. I think he would create too many realities. I think just following around Sister Peter to watch her reaction to everyday life. You don't even have to have lines. Sister Peter didn't even have to say anything. You could just basically put her face there reacting to anything she saw. So I'm going to go with reality TV and Sister Peter.
Yeah.
Question 6. Who would win in a bar fight?
Ooh.
Sister Boniface or Sister Reginald?
Sister Regina.
Yeah.
Sister Regina.
That was good. Yeah.
I mean, her background means you don't mess with Sister Reg, you know? I mean, Sister Boniface has the smarts. I mean, they're both smart in their own way. Sister Reginald has the street smarts, and Sister Boniface is the analytical one.
Well, had I said who would win in a trivia contest in a bar, I think we would give that to Sister Boniface.
Definitely.
Yeah, because she
definitely.
would be, Sister Reginald, I think. So. Okay, now I guess we're staying in a bar. Question 7: Who would you want to karaoke with? Sister Peter or Tom? And who are the episodes you sing in? Do you sing?
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was another gorgeous episode actually about Sister Peter taking over the choir. And yeah, I mean the guest stars we had on that, they're like 2 of them, Jason Pennycook and Frances Marie McCann. They're like big musical theatre stars in Britain, you know, they've done West End stuff. And it was like, I was so gobsmacked that we managed to get them on our episode. I was like, oh my God, you know? And the producer that gets killed. By the way, a lot of producers always get killed on our show. I don't know if you've realized that. So I think our producers have a very good sense of humor, you know, about stuff.
So, but who are you going to go karaoke with? Who are you going to karaoke with?
Definitely, I think Sister Peter.
Okay. I've changed the rules on this. Sister Peter, who is now my best friend, Sister Peter and I would go to watch Tom.
Okay.
I mean, how could you not watch Tom karaoke? Can you imagine Tom? I mean, just Tom. I mean, how could you not watch that? But Sister Peter and I would go together because Sister Peter, of course, would want to be supportive
Yes, of course.
of Tom. So Sister Peter, so I kind of changed the rules a little bit on that. So rules are changed a little more. Number 8, who do you want to be your vacation buddy? Sister Boniface, Sister Reginald, Sister Peter, or Peggy? Oh, there's 4 choices. This is your vacation buddy. This is Tina's vacation buddy.
I would say Sister Peter, because then, she'd be so much fun,
Well, if you take Sister Boniface, somebody's going to die. And I don't really want
That's true.
anyone to die on vacation. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
problem. That's kind of a built-in, she's there, someone will die. Peggy, again, I think she goes out, she's a little young. I think she can party. I don't think I can keep up with her. So
No, that's true.
I'm really caught between Sister Peter and Sister Reginald, and so I'm not going to commit to one, though I think Sister Reginald could be a whole lot of fun in
Might
a
be
bar.
fun. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For sure. Sister
Yeah, I
Reginald's
think she could be a whole-
backstory is
yeah.
so interesting as
So-
well.
All right. Final question. Who does Randy have a bigger crush on? Sam, Felix, or Hercule Flambeau from Father Brown?
Oh, I would say
Mhm.
Sam.
I'm going with Flambeau from Father Brown
Are
because I
you?
can't choose between the other
Oh.
2.
Oh.
I wrote that and I thought, I can't pick because these guys may actually hear the show.
No, they
Though
won't
I-
mind.
I'm a Flambeau fan. Yeah, I'm a Flambeau fan. Let's honor Jude Tyndall,
Yes, for sure.
who created the show, who I read about, I guess was so known for this cozy mystery genre, died so young, as the 63-year-old would say. She died at 60, so young, created the show, was the driving force behind the show. We've talked so much about characters and actors, and I'm an actor and I love them. But writers and creators and producers, you already did a shout out to your makeup artist and your costumers.
Yeah.
These people, they don't get the applause they should get.
No.
And I really have to thank her, and I see this sincerely, thank her for creating something that has given me so much joy, and for creating something that has given you to me.
No.
You in the
Randy.
form of Sister Peter, who I truly, really love, and you in the form of Tina.
Oh,
And if it
thank
weren't for her,
you.
that wouldn't have happened. Yeah.
I know. She was an extraordinary woman. And she had such a brilliant mind, and she inspired so many young up-and-coming writers as well. I mean, we owe her a huge, huge, debt. It was so sad. I was shocked, because she came on set and I met her and we had a nice chat. I think when we were filming season 3. And it was, glorious because it was summer and we were shooting the location and the crew were playing cricket, doing the lunch hour, and and we had a nice chat about stuff, and it was just such a shock that she was ill and then she died very soon afterwards, and it was a shame because I think she didn't get to see the rest of season 4. I think she didn't even get to see the Christmas special that she wrote, So yeah, but she lives on in the shows, I think, in the Father Brown shows
She does.
and Sister Boniface and
I mean, I have said this before that, you live on in your own ways. And I mean that sincerely when I thank her for the gift of you and the gift of this series, because it's just so charming. I mean, and it's still a series of murders, and I still can't quite reconcile in my head why I'm so charmed and I feel so much warmth over murder. But I do. And I don't think I'll ever understand humanity's obsession with it, because it's never been mine.
no, I know. But I think the thing is, the show and the stories are told with such warmth, and people are driven to desperate things and desperate action sometimes. You you always kind of, in Father Brown especially, he elicits a confession of the criminals, and you start to feel that they're not that bad, and they were driven to do these things because they had no choice, or they were, you know, they needed to escape a toxic situation, for example. So
Yeah, Sister Boniface is based on heart too. There's no question. It's based on what's in somebody's heart. And
yeah,
we want good to win.
yeah,
We don't want evil to win. But you're right. There are certain, even people are the murderer on Sister Boniface, that it's a noble murder, if there is such a thing. A somewhat noble murder, I'm thinking of the well, I don't want to give it the Boots, the Go-Go
yeah.
Boots episode. Yeah, I mean, that one was one where I was like, and literally that particular person was ultimately at the end of the show looking for the positive side that could come out of the loss of this person. Again, I don't want to give it too much away because I want everyone to watch it.
I know. Well, that episode, which is a kind of homage to the Carry On films. Like, I mean, the Carry On films were a very British thing, but that episode as well, that murderer for that episode. I mean, watching the murderer confess, I mean, broke my heart, because you realize they had to do it, or they felt they had no choice, and I think it kind of fosters compassion for people. I think at the same time, I mean, it's a fun show. It's quirky, and it's beautifully shot and beautifully done. But at the heart of it is it's human nature as well. I think that it kind of explores. But I mean, going back to the costume and makeup lady, I mean, these are the guys that sell the periodness of the show. We can do it through the vehicles that they drive, but for period stuff, it's always hair and makeup and costumes that do the heavy lifting for us, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, before I forget, okay, we need to look this way. You need a wave. Now, this is for the people that
Okay.
wave in that direction. That's my neighbor, Brenda. Brenda lives right across the street from me.
Hi,
Brenda says, tell
Brenda.
her I love her. Brenda, Tina's waving at you. We love Brenda. Brenda lives across the street. She's like, tell her I love her, tell her, so I have to do that.
Oh,
Couple
Brenda, thank
questions.
you.
She's lovely. What inspires you the most creatively?
I think it's the drive to tell stories as honestly and as authentically as possible. Um, but also I think the thing is, when I was little, I always this is a very crazy idea, but I always believed I know it sounds really daft, but I believed in reincarnation because I thought this life can't just be it. Like, has to be more. Like, what happens to my spirit when I die? Like, surely reincarnation must exist. And I think looking back, it's like I know I'm an actor because it means I get to live different lives and I get to explore different types of existences. But at the end of the day, we only do just have one life. Like you said in one of your other episodes, we're only on this planet for a short space of time, so we have to make the most of it.
But you've given us Sister Peter, which will outlive you. I'm very determined not to leave my kids a household full of junk. I've written 2 books and I've got a whole, all these podcasts, these people I've talked to. It's the most important stuff I want to leave behind for them. Well, pictures, but I mean, the 2 different books, that's really that to me is your legacy. And it really is about, am I going to do more for the world than I take from it? That's what I want to do. But I'm 63, and let me tell you, I can't stop creating. Creativity is my thing. I have nothing if I'm not working on a project, which probably you figured out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've started reading your book. It's so interesting. I'm like, oh my God, like I need to carve out, I need to go on holiday and bring your book with me so I can devote like 100% of my time reading it
This
properly. Yeah.
book,
Yes.
Ruby, it's such a labor of love. I'm so proud of this book. I really wanted you to have it.
Oh, thank you.
And I mean, I can get you a real copy or the ebook or whatever or stuff. It's hard. I can't gift an ebook. That's the problem. But I can certainly give you a real copy. I'm very proud of this. And I'm very, and Ruby as a book actually is inspired by all the people I've met. And if you look at the foreword, you will actually, I list the different people who have brought qualities into my life through their words. And they influenced the story that came. And truly, I've interviewed like 300 people, but if it weren't for key people, Cynthia Rhodes from Dirty Dancing, the movie Dirty Dancing, she inspired the whole book.
Amazing.
She inspired the whole book. She inspired because I said I couldn't write. I said, no, I can't write fiction. And she decided I was wrong and decided to tell me I was wrong.
Oh,
and
wow.
1 week
That's
later,
amazing.
I had the layout. Yeah, I had the layout for the book. Because Cynthia Rhodes decided to tell me I was wrong. And when we tell ourselves we can't do things, I mean, you probably at one point in time said, I can't quit banking. I can't take this risk. I mean, I wouldn't have Sister Peter if you had not made that decision. What has Sister Peter taught you? What has she taught you?
It's so weird because when I was taping for Sister Peter, it was doing an incredible week where I had 8 self-tapes to do that week. It was just so hectic. So I had to kind of work out her backstory really, really quickly. Thankfully, I had my convent school background. But I mean, as you know, as an actor as well, we're only as good as the scripts that we're given. So, the scripts that we get form the structure or the spine of your character in a way. And all the things that she's been up to, all her little adventures, has been the kind of structure of it. And I'm the one that, fills in the rest of it. But Sister Peter is so curious and full of wonder, and she just is so escapist in a way. She totally believes everything. There's no cynicism in her whatsoever. I mean, there's a little bit of time she kind of thinks, oh, somebody's pulling my leg here, but most of the time she's very innocent, and maybe that's her convent school. I mean, her convent background. She's led a very sheltered life, but it's also cocooned her from some of the harshness of life, maybe you would say. It's exposed her to things, but it's also, yeah.
Yeah, but she pays attention. She lives in the moment.
Yeah, she does.
Would you agree? She pays attention and she knows what's going on. So it's interesting you say that, because what I get from Sister Peter is live in the moment, be aware, pay attention. Does she go through to life with the world through does she see life through rose-colored glasses? Yes, I can do that as well. But she doesn't live the same day twice.
No, she doesn't. And she believes the best in people like you do. This is probably why, you're so drawn to her.
Oh, it's just that I loved her work, and I just said, you know what? I love this woman so much. I love what she's created. I'm going to use social media for good. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to tell her what she means to me, having no necessarily any expectation. I now do want you to be my best friend. Unfortunately, you're stuck with that now. You're stuck with me. I noticed she has not given me her phone number yet. She has mine, but I don't have hers. So I think the jury's still out on how this is going to work. Tina, thank you for being here. Thank you for Sister Peter. To all of you at BritBox and the producers and the team and Sister Boniface, thank you for teaching a 63-year-old that there's actually a world that exists outside the borders of the United States of America. Crazy that it took me this long to really embrace that and realize that. But the joy that I get from leaving here and going to wherever we happen to be in Great Britain. The other one is Return to Paradise. I loved Return to Paradise, that town in southern Great Britain that is filmed in. We literally looked at, can we move there?
Oh,
It's just Well, I love Chris Marshall. But I mean, it's just so beautiful. And I'm just so grateful for that opportunity. I have one question, and you know what it is because you've watched the show.
Yes.
So you are going to know, and you won't be caught off guard. People who don't watch the show are caught off guard. My final question for you is, Tina Chiang, what do you know?
This is attributed to the poet Virgil, but I take it on board. And that is that fortune favors the brave. You have to have courage to follow your heart, and fortune will follow you. It's always a risk. It was a massive risk, me leaving banking, not knowing how I was going to, survive as an artist. But I took a leap of faith, and this is what's turned out. I've created some things that I'm so proud of. I'm so proud of Sister Peter. I'm so proud of Sister Boniface. And the fact that it's people like you that it's brought joy to just means the world to me, because I'm like, you know what? That's all I've ever wanted. Do you know what I mean? To kind of make a little bit of an impact on this universe, and I'm so glad that I managed to do it through the medium of the show and through the medium of my art and my craft. So thank you so much for reaching out to me. Honestly, it's so nice to get lovely feedback, and to know that someone out there is appreciating your efforts.
For more information, visit onthenose.com. Please be sure to follow On the Nose with Randall Kenneth Jones on YouTube and subscribe on your preferred podcast platform. For On the Nose, I'm Susan Bennett, the original voice of Siri. And yes, I know. Do you? If not, see you next time.